It's a teen talk skating podcast where I embarrass myself. Hello, and welcome to episode number 62 of the Teen Talk Skating Podcast. My name is Van Gogh, and this week has been a week for sure. I'm not sure even want to start in discussing my week, but I hope yours wasn't as emotionally turmoiled and traumatic as mine, maybe. I hope you guys are all doing well because certainly I don't really know what's going on in my life. But you live and you learn. Maybe it's the teenage hormones. It probably is. Maybe it's the, crippling anxiety that I have about the future of the world and the state of, you know, whatever's happening right now. I have no idea, but I'm pretty sure most of it's probably teenage hormones anyway, so who cares? Anyway, I should probably get started on this week's episode because I have a lot to talk about, just like last week's episode, which went on for way longer than it probably should have, but I like to talk. I like to talk a lot, and y'all know that for sure. Program of the week. Okay, so for our program of the week, just like you heard from a fun theme song that I know everybody loves, just like you heard for the program of the week, we are doing, or I guess I'm about to explain, I don't know. I decided to pick a program that was very, like, appropriate for the current time period, the current season of spring that has just come and graced us all. We all know spring is the best season. If you don't agree with me, get off this podcast as soon as you can. But anyway, you might think that I decided to pick a basic Vivaldi spring program, but no, I decided to instead pick a spring theme program from Chen Liu of China and her 1996 World Short Program to a piece called Spring Breeze. Doesn't that sound beautiful? And I do think this program perfectly personifies a spring breeze for sure. It is absolutely very elegant and it's elegantly simple. That's my favorite type of program. I feel like it's elegant and simple at the same time, and yet so refined and sophisticated while being not so super complicated at the same time. It's like the best feeling. She starts off this program going into the triplets. I always say this about triplets, especially Chen Lu's triplets. Like they just did lots different in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like they just did them differently. And I couldn't. I don't know why I'm faking an Irish accent right now, but like I can't. Like the Let's just so pretty in the 90s. I have to bring out a fake Irish accent. Um yeah. But yeah, beautiful triplets into a nice easy double toe loop, and then going into some of the other jumps that she does a very cool camel spin. This is like my favorite part of the program. She does a camel spin. Most skiers, they do have their arms near them during their camel spin, which makes sense, but she puts her arms out wide and then just like right in front of her, in front of her head. And it creates these most beautiful positions. It really does look like the wind blowing and whatnot. She also does a cool triple toe that just gets off so easily. She puts both of her arms in the head on the landing of it. It's beautiful. The spiral sequence along with the music, again, just the like, what was I gonna say? Oh my gosh, her lines? No, wait. Gosh, her extension, that's what I want to say. Her like extension on her leg on these spirals is beautiful. It goes with the spring, again, breeze, the wind, it's flowing. You can just see the air against her outfits. It's great. And then she does some cool steps, like spinning around steps, leading up to or after the spiral sequence, leading up to more crossovers into a nice double axel into that last layback spin. And that just ends the program quite beautifully. And yeah, again, a very simple program. There's a moment where she kind of skates on one foot and she just glides on one foot, just standing up like normally. But just that detail of just having one foot up is just so like powerful. And yeah, artistically it's genius. Technically it's great. Just so good. And I'm burping a lot for some reason. This program is just so burp inducing. I don't know. No, it isn't. It's very beautiful and it does remind you of the springtime. So go please watch it after you listen to this episode. Chen Liu, her 1996 World Short Program to Spring Breeze. It is time for your main episode. Ba-da-da. Oh my god, that's so cringy. Help. That was your program of the week. Hello, everybody. So, for this episode, we are discussing the second half of the 2025 World Figure Skating Championships. If you haven't not checked out my episode from last week, that is where I discussed the pairs event and the women's event at these Worlds. But this week, I am discussing the ice dance event and the men's event. Like a lot of my episodes, or unlike a lot of my episodes that usually have scripts or notes behind them, again, like the last episode where I don't really have time to make a script, I don't really have time to get all my thoughts down and words and whatnot. This is really my raw reaction to these results. I will say that maybe it's not my raw reaction because I am recording this like a couple days after Worlds are over. So I do know like what happened in ice dance. I do know what happened in men's, and I have thought about it for a couple days. So maybe it's not super raw, but I still have not recorded down any notes. I'm just telling you straight up what happened, who happened, where, what placed what, etc. So starting off with the men's event. Or no, not the men's event, the ice dance event. I'm crazy. Oh my gosh, I cannot even remember which one went where. But starting off with the ice dance event, I do want to start, maybe in the non-qualifiers because I know this might be shocking. And so I will say that in 21st place, this was kind of the shock of the whole event for me. In 21st place was this team from Lithuania of Allison Reed and Stelios Ambruvičius, who this was just a really unfortunate rhythm dance for them that unfortunately landed them on 21st place, just on the brink of qualifying for the free dance. So, everything was good in this program up into the midline step sequence, the midline step sequence where unfortunately they fell, and a fall in ice dance is huge, obviously, and yeah, unfortunately they could not recover from that. It brought down their score quite a lot. And I will talk about why this is a little even more shocking later. But coming into this competition, they were, the European bronze medalists from last year. They had a lot of good success. This season, they were doing all right. Maybe not the most success, but they were doing all right. But unfortunately, this one rhythm dance was really unfortunate. But they are obviously looking forward to helping Lithuania qualify a spot at the qualifying competition later this year, next season in September. And so I have no doubt that they will be able to qualify a spot for Lithuania, but this was definitely a shocking result for them. Okay, just talking about some of my teams I really like. In 19th place, we have Harris and Chan of Australia, who barely missed out on qualifying an Olympic spot. They needed 18th and they got 19th, and I'm mad because I love Holly Harris and Jason Chan. I do think they're so underrated. I love their programs, like always. Like, come on, judges. Like, really, I know, like, technically, maybe they're not the most refined, the fastest, but they're such a good team. Like, can you cut them some slack every once in a while? Okay, just that's all I want for Harrison Chan. But again, another team I'm hoping that they will be able to qualify at the Olympic qualifier competition that is going to happen in September. Apparently, it's going to happen in China. Not sure about that, but who knows. But again, I hope they will be able to qualify a spot there. Okay, moving up the rankings, I want to move into 11th place, which is my favorite ice dance team of Julia Turkila and Matthias Veschluis, who, you might be thinking 11th is a little low for them at Worlds. They've done a lot higher in the past, and you would be correct in saying that because they ended up placing 20th in the rhythm dance, the last team to qualify. And what ended up happening is that just like Allison Reed and Stelios Ambruvičius, they also fell on their midline step sequence, and that really was the mistake that brought their score so far down. And get this, they qualified by 0.01 point. Allison Reed and Stelios Ambruvičius had the score of 68.08, and Turkey Lewis, making the same mistake that they did, got a score of 68.09. And so it was really a big toss up between those two teams, thinking about who would qualify to the rhythm dance. It could have gone either way for sure. Both of them made a huge mistake, and they both definitely know that. So that was a really unfortunate mistake, but both of them are great teams, and I have no doubt that Reed and again Emblevichius will be able to qualify a spot for the Olympics. Anyway, back to Turkey versus Lewis. In 11th place, they were 20th in the dance after that huge mistake, but a very redemptive free dance brought them 7th there to 11th overall. Their free dance this season is that tango that everyone has absolutely been loving. A lot of people say it's like a tango kind of done right in a sense. It's like being done that well. It's being done right. I don't know because apparently people like. I'm not like the hugest ice dance fan, but tangos aren't done well enough, etc., etc. But this tango is like everyone's biggest jam. Everyone loves this tango, and I honestly do love it too. At the beginning of the season, no, not my favorite, but then it grew on me. The spiciness, the sauciness kind of got onto me. I was like, that's pretty good. That was a pretty good program. And a lot of people hope they will keep it. I honestly hope they do too, but I also love the other styles that Turkey Liver Lewis has showed us. They're so versatile and I love it. In 10th place, we have the team from Georgia of Davis and Smolkin, who, again, another team who had a redemptive performance here. They were 14th in the rhythm dance. No major mistakes there, just kind of lower levels than a lot of the other teams. But they brought themselves up with a 10th place free dance, which had a lot better levels than the rhythm dance did, and a lot better GOE as well, which helped them bring up their score. Obviously, they are from representing Georgia, and there is this very big like discussion, I guess, about where Georgia exactly places in the world as a whole country, if they will be able to be competing in the team event, how competitive they'll be there, etc. Um, so definitely a big deal for them to be able to get a really good result. 10th place obviously is a great result for them. And yeah, good for them. In ninth place, we have the team of Green and Parsons of the US. They came in here as the US number 3 team, the bronze medalist at US Nationals. And I always do feel like that title, in a sense, that third ICN's team at US Nationals, is kind of like a very much like you have to prove yourself after that because first and second have, consistently been locks these past 2 seasons, past 3 seasons during this quad. But that third place, we've had Zingis and Kolesnik get it. We've had Brody and Somerville get it. And now this year we had Green and Parsons get it. And, with that, I do think they did a really great job here. They were 7th in the rhythm dance with a new season's best, and then 11th in the free dance with a new season's best. I will say, I think they just deserved a lot better in their free dance. I thought the emotional impact of it was quite well. It was the best I've seen them do this program this whole season. And honestly, like it was a great program levels wise, maybe not the best there technically, but I really did appreciate especially those two curve lifts right like next to each other, or it was curve lift plus curve lift. That was my favorite element of, one of my favorite elements of the entire section, the entire competition probably. That was a good curve lift plus curve lift there. They did get a time violation, I believe, which is why they got a -1, but they didn't have any major falls, so that was good. But again, that number 3 spot at US is in the US is very finicky in a sense. They're really wanting to hold on to that, but I have no doubt that Green and Parsons, will continue to fight for that spot. But US Nationals next year, watch out for the ICNs event because I do think that will be a very competitive kind of hot spot for that event. In 8th place, we had the French team of Loboreva and Brissot, who, one of those teams who has achieved so much success this season because of getting to qualify to the Grand Prix final in their home country and then going to Europeans, getting a silver there. This has been their biggest season yet. Perhaps this world's result was not the ideal performances they wanted. They were good, but they were not the best as we've seen from them. They were 9th in the rhythm dance with a clean program. Their stationary lift did only get a level 1, which probably, contributed to that lower score overall. And then their 9th place in the free dance as well. Again, good, but not, as high as they got at Europeans, for example. They scored almost They scored 12, almost 12 points higher in total score at Europeans. So it really did come down to the levels here, I think, and then comparing teams between the judges. But still a great, a great score for Loboreva and Brissot. I did think that perhaps they were going to pull a big surprise here at Worlds, but not this year. But I do think they have a lot in the making. They are quite a fan favorite team with their very, you know, very ingenious and very innovative programs that are a little bit off and different from the rest. That is a trait I really do enjoy from them. Okay, in seventh place we had the Canadian team of La Joie and Laga, who we saw them last year, for example, at Worlds, and they did amazing skating home at Montreal. Here, skating, a couple hundred miles away in Boston, they did really well as well. They were fifth in the rhythm dance with a really great score there. Some of the judges even put them in third and fourth, so that was really good for them. Um, but then, unfortunately, maybe not the best free dance. They were eighth in the free dance, so they dropped down to seventh overall. But this Sound of Silence free dance, I really do enjoy it. Again, another program that I didn't enjoy a lot in the beginning of the season, but something I grew to enjoy for sure. So great result for La Joie and Laga. In sixth place, we have the team from Spain, Smart and Deek. And this is a team I really want to focus on here because their rise has been unprecedented. Last season, I believe they were 19th at Worlds or 20th at Worlds or something. It was some, very like, they weren't the best. And so, it's amazing to see them do so well. This season, they feel like a completely different partnership. Last season was their first season competing together internationally, and that always can be scary. But their growth from last season to this season has been night and day. Sun and rain. It's been absolutely crazy to see them do it. They were eighth place in the rhythm dance with a new personal best. Levels weren't the highest on the midline step, for example, but GOE was pretty good overall, and they got a new personal best there. And then this is the real kind of kicker, right? This is the real amazing result for them is third in the rhythm or in the free dance. Third in the free dance, they were the third best team in the free dance. And their Dune free dance, I think that absolutely deserves a third and obviously that small bronze medal for the free dance because their Dune theme free dance was so creative and so innovative and it used so many it was just good, it was just good, this is how you do a Dune program, it really does set the standard for every Dune program going into the future, because this was, a really good Dune program, and, again, another program I didn't was "Okay, it's good at the beginning of the season." This at Worlds was good, especially during, the character step sequence, that really got me, that was good. Or the choreo step sequence, sorry. That was good, and then they had a choreo lift, which was really cool, and, oh my gosh, it was just a really great program. Third in the free dance is a major result for them. Last year, they were 19th at overall at Worlds. This year, they're 6th. So, obviously, I really haven't seen not to compare teams, obviously, but I haven't seen this big or this, unprecedented of a rise or such quick of a rise since probably Papadakis and Cizeron in, 2015 era. So this is crazy that we're seeing this, and obviously it shows you that Ice Dance is not boring. Ice Dance has very crazy results sometimes, and I do think at the beginning of the season, probably no one would have expected that Smart and Deke would have such a big rise, but here they are showing that we were all very much wrong. So great job for Olivia Smart and Tim Deke. They are really really great skaters, and great job for them. In fifth place, skating at home, we had the team of Carrera and Ponomarenko, who I do think, they are really one of those teams who I feel like are actually improving. I see them with my eyes and I see that they're improving. A long time ago, before this quad even, they were okay. They were good. They were okay. This season, this quad has just gotten better and better each season. Their programs get better. It feels good and right, and just everything feels like it's coming together for them. They got a personal best in the rhythm dance, sixth there in the rhythm dance, over 80 points. Great job for them. They actually got the best twizzles in the rhythm dance as well. Best Chewy, fours on both of their levels. Really good. And then they were at fifth place in the free dance for fifth overall. And again, another personal best, another set of twizzles that were amazing. Lifts were all amazing. Really good. Their Carmen theme free dance, my thoughts on that. It is a very, not, it is a very overdone program, right? It's an overdone choice of music. It's a war horse for a reason. I made a whole podcast episode on it for a reason. But their Carmen felt to me like it had heart in it. It had a heart in it and it had soul and spirit in their Carmen. And that is something you should appreciate in a good Carmen for sure. This was a good Carmen program. I honestly hope that they keep it because it was a really good program and obviously it led to them getting another personal best. So good Dewey, good levels. It was just so good and the home crowd loved it for sure. So great result for Christina Carrera and Anthony Ponomarenko of the US. Okay, these last four teams, I have a lot to say about them, so let's get on with that. In fourth place, we have the Italian team of Guignard and Fabri. I am a little bit sad to say this because, Guignard and Fabri from Italy, they have medal at Worlds twice already. They've gotten bronze, or no, they got silver 2 seasons ago and bronze last season. This season, unfortunately, they ended up off the podium in fourth place. And I will, kind of talk about why, I guess, because these were definitely not the performances they were hoping for. They did get first place at Europeans with two performances scored much better. Um, and I'll explain kind of like my thoughts behind this. This is really disappointing for me because I really love them as a team, but no worries. I think in the rhythm dance, they had the GOE there. The levels just weren't there for them. Level 1 in the pattern step, for example, they didn't get level 4s on. They only got level 4 on the rotational lift, and so, with that, the GUI kind of was good. The levels just weren't there, and levels, they might be only a few decimal points, but they really do matter in the bigger picture, and that gave them 4th in the rhythm dance. 4th in the free dance was a result that kind of did not surprise me, but I kind of understood. I think technically they were better than they were in the rhythm dance, a lot higher levels, lots of fours. Twizzles got fours there. I think artistically was like where this kind of unfortunately did not work out for them as well. The robot theme free dance, it is creative. It's something they haven't done before, and they had guts to kind of do that thing. And so really great for them, obviously, for having those guts. It is a program that I didn't really like from the beginning, and I know a lot of people were not that big fans about it. It was good. It did improve over time. It did make more sense over time. But unfortunately, here their performance wasn't as good as the one they had at Europeans, but they are still a really great team. I love them a lot. So I am really hoping that Guiar and Fabry will be able to kind of build back from this. Fourth, obviously, is still a great result. It isn't like they lost everything. They didn't even qualify or anything. Like fourth is a great result. Just wasn't as high as they were hoping for at that based on kind of their past results, right? But looking into those Olympics, obviously next year at home in Milano Cortino, where they are from Italy, they will be skating in Italy. I do think they still have a great chance at the podium. There is, this one result I don't think is gonna ruin them too much. They have so much experience. They have so much like, like not favoritism, but like very much like they know the judges really well. The judges know them very well. Like, you know what I mean? Like over time, like I feel like does lead to that trend of like older in ice stands or like longer in ice stands leads to better results. And I do think that kind of will play into that, but they are great ice dancers in their own right, and honestly, I love them so much, so who cares? In third place, however, we had the very big surprise result for me. Third place in the ice dance event here was Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson of Great Britain, who are such great ice dancers, and I do think a lot of people underestimate them constantly. A lot of people underestimate them. But here they proved them kind of wrong. Those haters, those naysayers wrong. They were third in the rhythm dance with a clean skate there. Really good results. And then they were sixth in the free dance, which was a little bit lower, but they had enough score to kind of they had enough score to kind of from the rhythm dance to kind of make up for that. So they still ended up in third overall. Their stationary lift did go on for a second too long, it appears. They did get the -1 deduction for that, but still a good program. Their Beyonce was definitely very high energy. The crowd loved it. And this is Fear and Gibson kind of doing what they're good at, and Fear and Gibson being good at entertaining the crowd, and I love that for them. And again, a lot of naysayers definitely out there for Fear and Gibson, but I do think they are a great team for sure. Now, going into these top two, there was a lot of discussion around what positions these top two would be in based on four continents. But in second place, we had Gillis and Poirier, who were hoping to kind of have that chance at first place because they were first at Fort Continents as well. But Gillis and Poirier, here they were good. Maybe scores weren't as high as they kind of hoped to be. A little harder on the levels here as well. So yeah, they definitely wanted a bit better on levels, particularly, but it's still a really great result for them. They were second there in the rhythm and second in the free overall. A program, again, another program that I didn't really like at the beginning, and now I kind of like it. Their lifts were really great. Those were my favorite elements for them were those lifts. Really great for them. But I feel like the lower levels did bring them down, unfortunately, but still really good result for them. And honestly, I do think that Gilles Party will get a world title one day. I swear, I want them to get a world title so bad. One day, people. Okay, and then in first place, we have the U.S. team of Chalk and Bates skating here at home. Chalk and Bates, obviously, they're married. It just feels like the perfect story, isn't it? And they were let's see. They were first place in the free dance with 90 points, which is a really great score. And then they were first in the free dance as well. Sorry, the first one was the rhythm dance, and the second one is the free dance. They were first there as well. They won by almost over 6 points, which is a really great result for them. And, Chalk and Bates, they are such a strong team. They've been around for so long, they've skated, and I do think they are very much the favorites for the Olympic gold medal going into this next season. This was a really great performance. The crowd at home loved it, for sure, and great result for them. And proves that they are really the favorites. And that was kind of the point of this competition for them was to kind of assert their dominance, especially after they got second place at Fort Collins, losing to Gilles and Poirier, who did really good well here as well. But very competitive here. The home crowd loved it, and this icing event definitely had a lot going on for a lot of drama, but great developments from Smart and Deke, Fury and Gibson, teams like that who did really well here. Yeah, and now for the men's event. Okay, everybody, so now it is time to discuss the men's event. And, the men's event is chaotic, chaotic, chaotic. But what can you what can you really say about the men's event? Can you not? I have no idea. Um, the men's event, I'm going to start from, gosh, what place should I start at? I'm going to start at 14th place. I'm gonna go down all the way first. So we're gonna try to get through these because I know it's a lot of skaters and I don't want to take up a lot of time. So in 14th place from Canada, we had Roman Sadowski, which is a really good result for him. He got a season's best here overall. I do think Roman Sadowski, maybe he isn't known for consistency, but honestly, this is a good result for Roman Sadowski, like a really good result for him. Um, Kind of looking at his season trajectory so far, like he had, lower scores all the way up to these worlds. Great time to really be pulling out a really good skate for him. He was 15th in the sure program. He did get a quarter on his quad sal, and then he did do a triple let's double toe with kind of a little slight bobble instead of that triple let's triple toe that he really wanted. But a good triple axle, good spins. Roman Sadowski has good spins, I would say. Really, really well done there. Um, and really good scores overall for him in that short program there. One of the cleaner ones we see him do this season. 13th in the free skate. Again, this was a good program. He got the first quad sal done, the triple S triple toe. He did get an under rotation on the triple axle. And then he even got the second quad sal done with a quarter and then an Euler and triple sal. Major combination, did get negative GOE, but still good. He did not pop any of the jumps and he did good. This was a good, maybe he did pop the last triple axel into double. Oops, sorry. But this was still a good program for him. And I do think that, this was a good example of Roman Stavsky kind of fighting for that title, or not title, but fighting for his skate, fighting for those jumps, getting those two quad sals, not popping them was really good. That first quad sal was really good. when he hits it, he hits it. It really does kind of work like that for him. In 13th place, we had the comeback from Italy, Daniel Grazel, who has had kind of an up and down season. We saw him go to qualify to the Grand Prix final, kind of have a disappointing Europeans, and then come here. And this is an okay result for him. He definitely would have wanted better considering kind of some of his earlier results this season, but still pretty decent. He was 14th in the SURE program with a fall, a under rotation, an unclear edge on his quadlets, but he did get the rest of his jumps done cleanly. He did want probably a quad loop triple toe. He did do the triple loop triple toe instead, but still good. Triple axle was the best triple axle actually in the whole event, which is really good for him. And then in the free skate, he was kind of attempting to make it back up. He was 12th there, which is pretty good. He did pop the first quad lutz into a double lutz. His quad loop actually got done cleanly with good Jui, which is a really good improvement for him. That was getting called quite a lot earlier this season. He had a downgrade on the quad sal, unfortunately, but the rest of the jumps really good. Got both triple axles done cleanly, good Jui. And this was not the best performance compared to earlier this season for him, but still really good results for Daniel Grazel considering this is his kind of comeback season. But I'm sure he has plenty to show as well. Coming up in this next season, obviously going to skate at home in Italy at the Olympics, hopefully wanting to reach there as well. Okay, in 12th place, we had kind of the surprise European champion, Lucas Britsky. He was 8th in the short program there, first in the free skate, and took the European title overall. Definitely was a shock result and definitely kind of built up the pressure leading up to this Worlds event. A lot of people saw him as potentially a surprise, podium finisher. I definitely saw, maybe this is kind of the next big thing. Maybe Lucas Britsky is going to put on a good performance. We saw him at Worlds last year and did really well. And it was never. There's never what you never can really know what to think about Lucas Britsky. But unfortunately, here he had two performances that maybe were not his best. He was 11th in the show program with a good skate. He didn't pop anything, but just slight step out stumbles on his quad toe, triple toe, and his triple axle, which didn't get the best Jui therefore with that negative. And then it was okay. The free skate was a bit more of a struggle for him. He got his first quad toe, triple or double toe done good, and then he did pop the second quad toe into a double toe. And then the rest of the program went well. The last two jumping passes, triple lutz, triple toe, ended in a fall and a quarter, and then he did pop a triple flip into a double flip. But still emotionally, I feel like he is kind of like a chaos child. He kind of has his own style, and I really do enjoy his kind of like programs. I don't know how to say it. He's like I don't know. He's just himself, and I appreciate that. He has unique programs, and we love to see that for sure. He has unique programs, and we love to see that. It was very galactic. It was very unique. It was very me, I guess. I don't really know, but good programs for Lucas Britsky. In 11th place, I'm really happy about this result. I believe I predicted him 10th, but 11th is basically the same thing, It's one off. It's fine. In 11th place, we had Dennis Valsias of Latvia, who you all know is my favorite skater, so I'm gonna gush over him for 50 minutes. But anyway, he was 16th in the short program. Good triple flip, good triple lutz, triple toe. No quad attempt in the short, but unfortunately, he did have a fall and an under rotation on his triple axle that landed him 16th there. But good step sequence, good components. Okay, this is what you get with Dennis Valsias is that even if the jumps aren't the best, even if he falls on one of them, the components are always gonna rock your world because the components score, the artistry score is amazing for Dennis Valsias, and he knows that, we know that, and we all love to see it. And then he had a very redemptive 9th place free skate. Obviously, after that 16th place short program, 9th place in the free is really great. He did have a under rotation call on his quad sal, but landed that good. Didn't pop it like he has unfortunately done prior to this competition earlier in the season. Good jumping passes. He did get another under rotation on the triple axle later in the program, but no pops, no nothing. Good Jui on Hollis, good jumping passes. This was the best thing I could hope for Dennis Valsias. He would have wanted cleaner on those under rotations, but this was a good skate for him, and I cannot complain, you know? Very Prince-like, very everything. The audience loved him. They gave him a standing ovation. The judges loved it. The components, this is a new season's best. La 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 la. Dennis Salcios is so amazing, and I want him to be Olympic champion next year. Is it gonna happen? I don't know. It's probably not gonna happen, but he is an artist, and I love that. In 10th place from Italy, we have Nikolai Momola, who really did impress us earlier this season. He had his European silver medal, which is a really great result for him. Here he was 7th in the short program with a good, it was a good skate. He did get unclear edge calls on both his quadlets and the triplets. So, maybe not. He did get positive GUE, just not as high as he would have liked, but still really good for him. The triple axel got good GUE. His free skate, I love his free skate. I love the music of his free skate. He did get clean jumping passes, except his quadlets, his solo quadlets got an under rotation call, which it did very much look a little tight. There was this one wild jumping pass, I can't remember which one it was. It might have been the solo triple axel that just didn't look like he would land it, but he still landed it. But no idea. He's magical. Magical Prince for sure, because I feel like that's what everyone calls him. Weirdly, but okay. I'm so tired, guys. I want to say random things. I'm sorry. Sorry. You just gotta get used to it. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, good results for Nikolai Momola. For sure. In ninth place from Georgia, we had Nika Igadze, who is very much known for his technical elements. Like some skaters, he is artistically not the best, but Nika Igadze, technically, he is really strong. And if he doesn't really have the jumps, he doesn't have a lot of success. But here he did get his jumps together. He was 6th place in the short program and therefore in the final flight of the free skate, which is really good. He got both his quad style triple toe down and the quad toe down. A little error on his spin, but a good triple axel to save the day and end that program really well. Again, really good technically. He is, if I can see, he was 4th technically in the score, but then 16th artistically in the short. So obviously, artistic wise, components wise, not as strong. But in the free skate, he get a new personal best with 8th place. Slight negative GUE on the quad toe and on the solo triple axel, but everything else was really good. Again, doing all 7 jumping passes in a row is kind of crazy, but I do not question. Who will question? I don't know. But a personal best there, really good. Again, a really strong jumper in terms of the quads, in terms of the triple axles. It's really good. Artistically, is it the best? No. Again, he was 5th technically in the free skate and then 12th components wise. So it is something that you kind of like give or take. It is a lot more skating on the one side. I am hoping that he can kind of improve his components because that, could make him a lot more competitive if his components were a lot more improved, getting into the later 8s, the 9s, etc. But, mostly 7s for him, looking at his score sheet here. In 8th place, this is a really good result. I'm really happy about this one as well because he is also one of my favorite skaters alongside Dennis Salcios. He is the king of artistry, the king of emotion, the king of making me want to cry, and that is Jason Brown of the USA. Skating at home was scary. We have not seen him compete since October. October? I can't remember. It was like October. It was like forever ago. I have no idea. He kind of had like a boot like issue, a challenge. It's just like a whole mess, and like we just could not. And like, yeah, we haven't seen him since November. Crazy, but he had a whole boot issue. He didn't go to nationals. He was very much a big question mark heading into this competition, but a really great result. He was 12th in the short program, just a quarter on a triple axel, and then he did pop a triple toe into a triple double toe, but still good results for him. Again, he was 17th there, but then 4th in artistry. So definitely a polar opposite with Nika Gatse that we just discussed. Artistic side is so much stronger. And then very redemptive, and from the 12th in the short program, Jason Brown gets a 4th place in the free skate with a clean program because he is absolutely amazing. No under rotations at all. So good, so good. He was first in components because he's amazing. Everyone's amazing. These should all be tens as far as I am concerned. His Spiegel and Spiegel program is very beautiful. It's just, it's light, it's classy, it's elegant. It's everything Jason Brown is kind of wrapped up into one. And he is a great skater. And, you know, that fourth place free skate kind of proved to people that you should not underestimate Jason Brown. Honestly, could he have been higher? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like they kind of lowballed him because he was in the second to last group and not the last one. But, you know, whatever. It's not my opinion. But yeah, great programs for him. Oh, sorry. Okay, in seventh place, we have the skater who's kind of been everywhere, and I mean everywhere this whole season, and that is from Korea, Jungwon Cha. He's been to the Grand Prix, he's been to the Asian Winter Games, the University Games, four continents, and now Worlds. Here, he was 10th place in the short program with a decent skate. He did have a fall on a quarter triple axel, which was his main mistake in that second half of the program, but nice sweeping quad lutz. His quad sals are very sweeping and very like but bam, you know what I mean? Like that was it. That was it. That was it. And then he was a very good fifth place in the free skate to go to. Uh, Sorry, he was good fifth place in the free skate to go seventh overall from 10th. Good program. The only major mistake he made was popping a quad toe into a double toe, but really good results for him. The rest of the jumps were all clean with good Jew each. Just that second jumping pass, he really wanted to get that quad toe done. I honestly do think this is kind of like the rise of Jungwon Cha. Obviously, we saw him 2 seasons ago get that silver medal at Worlds, and you know now looking into it, you know really building himself back up. He's had a lot of good results this season. This is a new season's best for him as well. So great for him, and I really do hope that you know maybe he is going to be a surprise next year. Who knows? I don't know. Oops, sorry. Okay. In sixth place, this is kind of a result I'm a little bit about because I thought he could have been a little higher. I think judges should have put him fifth or maybe even fourth. I don't know. Maybe that's a hot take. And from Japan, that is Shun Sato. Fifth place in the short program. He did have a very slight error on the quad toe, triple toe that he wanted to get very clean, but it did get a little negative Jewy, but a good quadlets. He was sixth place in the free skate. He had an edge call on the quad flip, but he did get the quadlets done well, and then he did fall on a quad toe. But despite that, he was really good technically, and honestly, the reason why I do think he should have been fourth place overall is his components. I understand that they are not the strongest, but they were really good. I don't know why, but I felt very touched by this program. I felt very good about this program. I thought this program was quite good. This is the best I've seen students how to perform, like actually perform artistically. I think he could have been a little higher in that. Some of these judges were a little low on the components. I feel like they could have been a little higher. Jumps, I understand because of the mistakes, but I do think that honestly the components could have been 2 points higher, 3 points higher, maybe. I don't know. I don't make up the sport. I'm not a judge, but just saying, I think Shinsato deserved a little bit better here for sure. But and then in fifth place we have Kevin Amos of France, who was very much a question mark heading in this competition. We've seen this season that Kevin can do really well. We've seen him this season that he can do not so well, and so it kind of depended on you know whatever would happen this season. For example, he did really well at Ski America, 282.88 points there, and then 22nd at Europeans with only 183.84 points. And so it was very much a question mark about like how he would do because we were very much unsure about how he would do. But this was a really great performance. This is kind of showing that Kevin Amos is getting a little bit better and better, kind of back to his like, you know, going back to like a little bit more consistency and everything. He was fourth in the short program. He did get a quarter call on his quad toe, and then he did a good triple toe, but that quarter call, unfortunate. Sorry, I don't know why I'm talking anymore. Unfortunate for him, but good everywhere else. Components wise, a really good skater as well. And then his free skate was quite beautiful. It was nice. These jumps were being this is the best I've seen Kevin Amos fight in quite a while because this is such a big fight. These jumps were, you know, not the cleanest for sure, but he was fighting for those quad toes or that triple lutz for the triple toe. Euler triple sal and that triple flip. Really good results. It wasn't the highest Dewey for sure on those jumps because of negative Dewey, but good fight on those jumps. And the jumping passes that were not, negative, they were really good. The triple axle, the solo triple axle was really good. And components wise, what a genius. You know what I mean? He was third in components overall. Great result for him. Again, showing that Kevin Amos is a skater who can put out a good performance. And I know he can put out a good performance, so it's really great to see him do this well, especially after kind of that disappointment that happened kind of at Europeans. Coming back and putting out this kind of performance is absolutely major for him. In fourth place in the men's event, we have Adam Chamfort from France, who again was a bit of a question mark, right? We did see him do pretty decent, not the best, but decent this Grand Prix season this season. But then at Europeans, he had an injury, and then he went to Europeans. He was third at Europeans, and now here fourth at Worlds. Obviously, a great result for him. Oh my god! Oh, sorry, my yawning. So really great result for him. If you remember last year at Worlds, he was 19th in the short program, and then rose to third overall, I believe, with a second place free skate. So this was absolutely kind of similar. He was ninth place in the short program with a fall and under rotation on the quad lutz and a slight stumble on the quad toe triple toe. But then he ended up putting out a really great skate for third in the free skate, not the free dance, free skate. He did have a little slight negative Dewey on the quad lutz, but good everywhere else. He did unfortunately have a very wild, I will say, a very wild triple axle that did end up on the quarter call and a fall. It was a very wild triple axle. Like I've never seen one more wild than that, probably. But he is kind of a chaos child, and we do not blame. We do not blame. We do not judge. We just watch as fans. Okay. But yeah, this is kind of showing that, he is really building back for sure after that kind of devastating injury took him out for a while, didn't let him go to a home Grand Prix final, etc. But I am really like happy to see this result for him. Does put his name back in the hat for obviously an Olympic medal next year. Kind of considering kind of his trajectory. He's been a world medalist before. He's been European champion before. Like this could very much be, kind of that comeback from Anna Chamfort. I am really hoping that he doesn't get even more injured because those injuries have definitely been devastating for him, but still really good. And then let's see here. Gosh. In third place here on the podium, we had Yuma Kageyama of Japan, who, did really, really well in the short program. He got second place in the short program, clean skate, season's best there. Absolutely beautiful. The real unfortunate part of this was unfortunately his 10th place free skate. It unfortunately just had too many errors that, maybe it was the pressure. He did have maybe the chance to be world champ if he was absolutely, absolutely clean, but just not the case here, unfortunately. He did pop his opening quad flip into a double flip. He'd have a step out on that quad sal. He saved that one really well. Good next two jumping passes with the quad toe triple toe and the triple axle Euler triple sal. Later half of the program, he did fall on a quad toe attempt, and then he popped a triple flip, triple toe into a triple flip, single toe. So definitely not a skate he wanted. He did look pretty disappointed when he finished the program and stepped off the ice, but very relieved to see that he would still be on the podium after a 10th place free. I do think what saved him was his components, because his components are quite strong compared to the rest of the field. So when he is kind of down technically like he was on this day at this event, he was really well artistically, and he didn't let the program get away from him. He did not let the spirit of the program get away from him. His step sequence was the best step sequence in the whole event. His quarter sequence is quite decent as well. Not letting that program get away from him is a really great skill to have, and I really do appreciate that from a performer like Yuma Kageyama, and it really does show that he's worked to improve his skating skills for sure. In second place, I love this kind of story, this kind of skater, this like everything kind of chaotic. That is Mikhail Shaidorov from Kazakhstan. And, he has really improved so much this season. I, remember predicting him for third at Grand Prix final. He ended up, I believe, fifth or something, or sixth. I can't remember. Fifth. fifth, I think. And then he ended up going to Fort Collins. I was like, he has to be first, and he did get first there. And ever since then, it's been like he is quite a chaotic pick for me. He is kind of whatever and kind of like all over the place, and it could be anywhere, it could be anything. Here, Shidorov, he was third in the short program with slight stumble on his triple axel, but he got the quad lutz and the quad toe down, which is really good for him. And then just the best free skate that he could hope for. He got a second place free skate, all clean jumping past it. He got his crazy triple axel Euler quad sal done. Really great result. It was just such a good program technically, and you knew at the very end when he finished the program, he knew that he had secured himself a spot on the podium because this was such a great program. He even got a season or personal best in both the technical score and the components for him. Really, really great there. This was just kind of the skate of a lifetime, and again, this is a really big story because he just kind of appeared this season for me as like a very big contender for these very big positions, and obviously getting a second place finish here does very much put his name in the hat for the Olympic podium next year. Could be possible. Definitely could be possible. Okay, in first place, you know him, you love him. It is the quad god of Ilya Malinin from the USA, skating at home, but winning that world title major for him. He was first in the short program with a clean skate, personal best in the short actually, and got the both the quad flip and the quad lutz triple toe down, which is really good for him. His free skate, this free skate, he was going for again another 7 quad attempt free skate. He got the quad flip done, a quarter on the quad axle, very tight landing for sure. Quad lutz good, quad loop good. He did unfortunately pop his second quad lutz attempt into a double lutz. The audience was like, oh, they were kind of like, oh, but he knew that he was gonna win anyway, in a sense. Like, I feel like he kind of knew he was gonna win anyway. It was such a high technical ceiling and everything, but yeah. But then he did get a quarter on a quad toe, and then he kind of had a little bit of a tight landing on the quad style triple axle at the end. But just such an insane performance to even try to go for those 7 quads. And it's just like just can we just stop watching at this point? He won by what is that? That is about 30 points. He won about, yeah, more than 30 points he won by. It's kind of uncatchable at this point. It is really a big kind of like, I don't think anyone can really catch him. Ilya Melina is like a force to be reckoned with, and he's a very difficult force to be reckoned with. So good job for Ilya Melina for sure, getting just everything good. It's just so good. Like, good for him. For getting first again. This is his second world title. Not as high score as last year, but if he would have gotten that second quad lutz with that combo in, I think it would have been an absolutely crazy reaction. Definitely a world record for sure, I feel like. But with that being said, that is the very end of the 2025 World Figure Skating Championships. My name is Sango. I hope you enjoyed this wild ride as I talked about these results. I know it's really wild. I know I talk too much. I'm sorry, but whatever. Next week, we will be discussing a preview for the World Team Trophy, which is the very last big competition of the season. Thank God, because I think we all need a very long, long vacation after everything that has crazily happened this whole dang season. Everything's been crazy. And so, yeah, I will see you all next week for a preview of that. I hope you guys are all going to do very, very well this week. I wish you all rainbows and sunshine and whatnot. And I hope that your voice isn't as dead as mine. But thank you so much. My name is Zango. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the 2000 Podcast. I will see you next week. Bye bye.